Did your soul choose your family? The truth may surprise you. Have you ever felt like you were born into the wrong family? Like you didn't belong? Or that your childhood was filled with struggles no child should have to endure? You look around and see others with loving, supportive parents, while your life feels like a storm you never asked to be part of. Was it just bad luck? A cruel twist of fate? Or is there something much deeper at play? What if I told you that before you were even born, your soul chose this life, including the very family you were born into? That the hardships you faced weren't punishments, but powerful lessons designed to shape you into the person you were meant to become. Across many spiritual traditions, there exists an ancient belief: souls do not come into this world by accident. Every experience, both joyful and painful, serves a higher purpose. But if that's true, then why would a soul willingly choose a family filled with dysfunction, pain, or even abuse? What could possibly be the lesson behind such suffering? The answer might change the way you see your past, your struggles, and even yourself. Are you ready to uncover the truth? 1. A toxic family is not a curse, but a lesson. Many people grow up in painful environments where they experience emotional, mental, or even physical abuse. These wounds can last a lifetime, leaving scars on the soul. Some may wonder why they had to endure such suffering while others were born into loving, supportive families. However, from a spiritual perspective, this is not a punishment, but a lesson. The concept of pre-birth soul choice suggests that before reincarnating, a soul deliberately selects its life circumstances, including its family. These choices are made to facilitate growth, develop resilience, and break the cycle of generational trauma. If everything were easy, there would be no challenge, no need to develop strength, patience, or wisdom. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She was born into extreme poverty, faced childhood abuse, and endured immense struggles. Yet, she transformed her pain into power, using her platform to inspire and uplift millions. Had she been born into a privileged, problem-free family, she might not have developed the same level of empathy, wisdom, and determination that define her today. A soul that wishes to learn about forgiveness and healing cannot do so in a perfectly harmonious environment. If someone is surrounded only by love and kindness, how will they ever experience the deep meaning of forgiveness? But if they are placed in a household filled with conflict, they will face challenges that push them to find light in the darkness. Similarly, Nelson Mandela was born into a divided and oppressive society. He spent 27 years in prison under brutal conditions. Yet instead of emerging bitter and vengeful, he chose forgiveness and reconciliation. His difficult circumstances were not a punishment but a test, one that shaped him into a global symbol of peace and resilience. In nature, diamonds are formed under immense pressure. Without intense heat and compression, a diamond would remain just another piece of carbon. The same principle applies to the soul. Those who face hardship have an opportunity to transform into something stronger, more radiant, and more unbreakable. When viewed from this perspective, a toxic family is not a curse, it is an opportunity. It provides the exact conditions necessary for a soul's evolution. The challenge, then, is not to remain trapped in suffering, but to rise above it. 2. You are the one chosen to heal your bloodline. There is a powerful spiritual concept known as the chosen one, a person who incarnates not just for their own personal journey but to heal their entire ancestral lineage. These individuals do not merely exist within their families, they stand out, question traditions, and challenge patterns of suffering that have been passed down for generations. Generational trauma is real. Pain, dysfunction, and toxic behaviors are often inherited. A father who was abused as a child may grow up to become an abusive parent. A mother who grew up in a household of strict control may unknowingly impose the same restrictions on her children. These cycles repeat. Not because they are destiny, but because they are unchallenged. However, some individuals, the awakened ones, start asking difficult questions. Why is my family like this? What can I do differently? How can I break this cycle and prevent future generations from suffering the same fate? These questions signal a spiritual awakening. It means you are not here to repeat the mistakes of your ancestors. You are here to end the cycle. Consider Elon Musk, who grew up in a challenging household with a difficult relationship with his father. Instead of allowing his upbringing to define him negatively, he transformed his life and focused on innovation, pushing humanity forward rather than being trapped in personal or generational suffering. His focus is not on reliving the past but on shaping the future. Another powerful example is Princess Diana. Born into British aristocracy, she could have conformed to the rigid expectations of her family and the royal system. However, she chose a different path. She openly spoke about mental health, compassion, and breaking away from cold traditions, leaving a lasting impact on the royal family. Her actions influenced her children, especially Prince William and Prince Harry, who continue her legacy of emotional openness and humanitarian work. In families, change starts with one person. The first person who chooses to heal disrupts the pattern. They may be criticized, misunderstood, or even alienated. But over time, their courage influences future generations. Just as a single seed can grow into a massive tree, one awakened soul can shift the fate of an entire bloodline. If you feel different from your family, if you question their ways, if you seek a different path, it is not a coincidence. It is a calling. You are the one chosen to heal your lineage. 3. The healing journey, from darkness to light. Realizing that you are the one chosen to break the cycle of trauma does not mean the journey will be easy. Healing is a process, often painful and uncertain. But every step you take brings you closer to spiritual growth and personal freedom. The first step is accepting the past. Many people spend their entire lives running from their past, suppressing painful memories, or pretending childhood wounds do not exist. But avoiding pain does not heal it. True healing begins when you acknowledge, accept, and integrate your past as part of your story. Buddhism teaches, no one can go back and create a new beginning. But anyone can start today, and create a new ending. One powerful example is Oprah Winfrey. She endured a traumatic childhood marked by poverty and abuse. But instead of being defined by her pain, she chose to embrace her past, talk about it openly, and use her story to inspire millions. By accepting her past, she transformed it into a source of strength rather than a lifelong burden. The second step is to understand and forgive. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood concepts in healing. It does not mean justifying harmful actions or excusing those who hurt you. Instead, it means freeing yourself from the emotional chains of resentment and pain. If you look deeply at those who hurt you, you may see that they, too, were once victims of their circumstances. A cruel parent may have been raised with cruelty. An emotionally distant relative may have never been shown love themselves. As the Buddha said, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Consider Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years, under a brutal system of racial oppression. When he was finally freed, he could have chosen revenge. But instead, he forgave his oppressors and led South Africa toward reconciliation. His ability to release hatred changed not only his life but the destiny of an entire nation. The third step is rediscovering your true self. Growing up in a toxic environment can cause you to lose connection with your true self. You may have learned to suppress your desires, silence your voice, or believe that you are not enough. Healing is the journey of returning to your authentic self. It requires asking deep questions. What do I truly want in life? How can I become the best version of myself? Can I use my painful experiences to help others? Lady Gaga is a prime example. She faced severe bullying and struggled with mental health issues. But she reclaimed her identity through music and advocacy. Today, she encourages self-acceptance and helps others embrace their uniqueness. Healing is not about erasing the past but about transforming pain into wisdom. The darkness you've endured does not define you, the light you choose to step into does. 4. Inner light. When you heal, you change the world. One of the most beautiful aspects of personal healing is that it does not stop with you. When one person transforms, they create a ripple effect that extends far beyond themselves. Your healing journey does not just change your life, it influences your family, your community, and even the world in ways you may not immediately see. When you learn to love yourself, you naturally spread love to others. People who carry deep wounds often project their pain onto others, whether through anger, criticism, or emotional distance. But when you heal, you break this unconscious cycle. Instead of reacting from a place of hurt, you respond with compassion. A powerful example is Princess Diana. She grew up in a broken home and suffered immense personal struggles. But instead of letting pain harden her, she became a global symbol of love and kindness. Her ability to empathize with the suffering of others made her beloved worldwide. Her humanitarian efforts, from working with AIDS patients to supporting landmine victims, demonstrated that personal healing can inspire profound global impact. When you break the cycle of pain, you create a better future for generations to come. Generational trauma is real. The unhealed wounds of parents often become the emotional burdens of their children. But when you decide to face your past and heal, you stop passing down pain and instead create a legacy of wisdom, resilience, and love. Look at Barack Obama. His father left when he was young, and he struggled with identity and self-worth. But rather than allowing this to define him, he chose a different path, becoming a symbol of hope and possibility for millions. His leadership and message of unity show that breaking cycles of instability can lead to extraordinary impact. When you become a light, you guide others toward their own healing. The most inspiring people in the world are those who turn their struggles into wisdom and their pain into purpose. When you heal yourself, you give others permission to heal as well. Take Malala Yousafzai, who was shot for advocating girls' education. Instead of succumbing to fear, she used her trauma as fuel to fight for global change, empowering millions of young women. Her inner light, born from pain, now illuminates a path for others. As the famous saying goes, be the candle instead of cursing the darkness. The world does not need more people consumed by bitterness or despair. It needs those who have healed, those who have found inner peace, and those who are willing to shine so others can find their way. Your journey has just begun, and the world needs your light. You were never meant to be trapped by the pain of your past. The challenges you have faced were never meant to break you, they were meant to awaken you. You are not just another soul passing through this world. You are the one chosen to rise, to heal, and to transform the pain of generations into wisdom and strength. Think about it, every great leader, every spiritual teacher, Every person who has ever changed the world had to overcome something. Nelson Mandela endured decades of imprisonment before becoming a global symbol of peace. Oprah Winfrey turned a painful childhood into a platform of empowerment. Even the Buddha himself had to walk away from a life of luxury to find enlightenment. Like them, your journey is not just about you. When you heal, you don't just change your own life, you break the chains of suffering for those who come after you. Your courage becomes their inspiration. Your transformation becomes their permission to grow. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep healing. The world is waiting for the light only you can bring. Are you ready to step into your power?